Okay, are we streaming? Should be streaming. Of course, I can't see the chat, so that's really cool that that happens. Let me go over to the other window and see what's going on. Okay, looks like it's working over here. Privacy is set to public. Monetization's off. Cool, cool. Let me preemptively pop out the chat because I just have a feeling it won't work. Which is super cool that is the case. It's so annoying. Sign into chat. Don't tell me I have to do a whole sign in thing. I'm not doing that again. Yeah, we're just Xing out of that. Cool. All right, let's test to make sure this is working. Cool. Okay, looks like I'm live. Got a notification. Let me just make sure I'm blasting it out to my socials. All right. Okay, updating Discord. Let's see, we got a Instagram story out there. We got a TikTok story out there. I think that's all I can do, right? I don't think I'm big on other socials, and YouTube should do a good job of pushing this out, I would imagine. So yeah, let me just test the chat, make sure I actually can see messages. Hello, test. Okay, so it looks like that's working. Awesome. Hello, anyone. Is anyone actually out there, or is my stream not working, or did I just am I washed up? Did I fall off? Is no one watching? I get an email from YouTube now live on your channel. That is nice that I get this notification. At first it seemed ridiculous, but if my channel was like owned and someone went live with some like crypto scam or whatever, FYI to anyone tuning into my content, I'm not gonna create a meme coin and try and rug pull you guys. If you ever see me do anything with crypto or something, just know that's not me. Let's see. Defense contractor here just got told today we have to switch from. Oh no. Well, you've come to the right channel then, because we're gonna learn a lot of fun bash here. So that's awesome. How exciting. All right, everyone will probably get started in like a couple minutes. We're going to go through Advent of Code. We knocked out puzzles 1 and 2, parts 1 and 2 for both puzzles, so 4 puzzles in total yesterday. So today we're going to try and knock through day 3, part 1 and 2. And assuming that goes well, we will also go over to day 4. So, yeah. Let's see. Curl. Cool, cool, cool. I guess let's pop open the terminal, huh? Safari open first? Okay, so we actually pull open Safari first. Let me close this. And cool, we got the terminal open. That looks good. Yeah, that looks fine. I'll probably scale it down a tiny bit so it doesn't get too cut off, but I don't imagine it will get cut off by my face. I don't feel like it'll go too far over that. So yeah, let me just I'm gonna turn the terminal off real quick. Give me a second. I'm gonna do some testing on my end just to make sure things are working how I expect them to be working. Do a quick little test. Pull up my phone. Open up YouTube. Yeah, something doesn't seem right here. It doesn't seem like my live is being pushed out. Why is that the case? Oh, because I'm logged into a different account. That would explain it. Switch accounts. There we go. Okay, it does look like it's being pushed out. Okay, turns out I was just dumb. So, yeah, let's do this. Let's jump right in. And people can funnel in whenever they feel like it's necessary. Cool, cool. So let's make this smaller. Let's pop open the browser and let's check it out. What do? You click calendar? Hey! Oh, cool. This is neat. like a picture is revealing itself as the days go on. That's really cool. Oh, there's a gold star here and a gold star up here. I wasn't paying attention. Do the gold stars and do some of the imagery reveal themselves when I get the puzzle done? Like when I get the puzzle done, is this picture going to be more filled in? It could be. Let's make sure to check that when I actually finish one of these puzzles. So yeah, let's jump into it. Mull it over. Our computers are having issues, so I have no idea if we have any chief historians in stock. You're welcome to check the warehouse, though, she says, the mildly flustered shopkeeper at the North Pole Toboggan Rental Shop. Oh, that's cute. The historians head out to take a look. The shopkeeper turns to you. Any chance you can see why our computers are having issues again? Oh, this is getting too real. The computers appear to be trying to run a program, but its memory, your puzzle input, is corrupted. Oh, how fun. All the instructions have jumbled up. Ooh, okay, instructions. Seems like the goal of the program is to just multiply some numbers. It does that with instructions like mul xy. Oh boy, oh man, okay. Where x and y are each 1 to 3 digit numbers. 1 to 3 digit numbers. Okay, like 0 to 999. For instance, mul 44.40 or mul comma 44 46, whatever, I said it wrong. Multiplies 44 by 46 to get a result of 2024. Oh, that's cute. It's the year. Similarly, oh, I can talk today. Mul 123.4 would multiply 123 by 4. Okay, yeah, this seems very straightforward. However, because the program's memory has been corrupted, there are also many invalid characters that should be ignored, even if they look like part of mul instructions. Sequences like mul 4 times, comma, mul 6 9 exclamation mark or question mark, or mul 2 4 do nothing. Do nothing. Okay, interesting. Oh, so spaces are even considered invalid too. Interesting. For example, considering the following section of corrupted memory. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. I like the highlighting here, where I can just. Oh my. My brain automatically jumps to solutions, and my brain's just like, "Yo, regex." Like regex. But let's keep going. All right. Yep. So it needs to be mul. It needs to be an open parenthesis. It needs to be a 1 to 3 digit number. Oh yeah. Only the 4 highlight sections are real mul instructions. Adding up the result of each instruction produces 161. Okay. Scan the corrupted memory for uncorrupted mul instructions. What do you get if you add up all of the results of the multiplications? Okay. This is cool. I like this. Let me check the chat real quick. Cool idea to do it in Bash. Are you adventurous enough to torture yourself with PowerShell scripts next year? I don't know anything about PowerShell. I have almost 15 years, well over a decade of experience with Bash. I have 1 minute experience with PowerShell, so no. I'm going to go ahead and say no to that. PowerShell seems interesting. Like, I don't hate it. I know Bash. So, okay, before I even get the puzzle input, let's go ahead and let's pop open my terminal. All right, so we got the terminal open. Look at that, it's already on my website. How nice is that? You can just curl my website in your browser, and there you go. Make dir day 03, go into that dir, and now we can vim example input.txt, and you can't see it, but I'm going over to my browser window, and I'm grabbing the example input from the problem, and I'm going to paste it in there. So this is the example input that they gave us, and I'll show that. And they showed me that the instructions, when you do all the multiplication and then get the sum of them, we will result in 161. So as long as we can turn the valid mul instructions into 161, we are good. So let's make our first program, I guess. What should the name of this program be? Let's just call it multiplier. Sure, I don't know. User bin env bash. Quit out, come back in, we get our nice syntax highlighting. I'm sure there's an easier way to do that, but that's just so muscle memory to me, because it also writes out the file. I like that. A quick question. You said yesterday Perl is ... interesting. Care to expand? Sure, I will expand. Let me take a break from this and let's talk about Perl. Perl is interesting. There's no doubt about it. And interesting is a very loaded word. It's kind of ambiguous, and it can be good and bad. And let me tell you, Perl is good and bad, and there's a mixture of the two. I think it's important when you consider a language to look at the history of it and the context around it. Perl's amazing. Perl came out when you had compiled languages and not many ways of dealing with things like interpreted or on the shell. So what Perl can do is incredible. If you were used to processing data in like C and having to do string manipulations, coming over to the world of Perl is amazing. It's like, you use a shell and Perl just gives you more data structures and ways of manipulating data than the shell would at that time. So like in Perl, I know you can do like variable equals, and then if you do the backticks or whatever, you could just run a shell command in there, and then you can chomp the output and you can do all sorts of work on it. Perl's incredible, and it was really great for what it is. When I look at it now, a lot of Perl I find to be unreadable. That's not a knock on Perl. People look at bash scripts I write and consider them unreadable. So I'm not knocking it by saying that. Perl is just one of those things, like, it's evolved through the decades, and there's so much going on with it. I have immense respect for Perl. I don't typically write it myself. I've dealt with legacy systems. I say legacy that are still in production today, and they were written in Perl because Perl is one of those things that's going to be around forever. So yeah, I think it's interesting, to say the least. I don't go out of my way to write new Perl. I respect all the Perl that's out there. I mean, actually, you know what? I'll show this real quick. I am on my Mac, but let me SSH into a SunOS machine. I have one Arbiter here. And if we run uname, we can see we're on SunOS. So this is running Illumos, OmniOS. And I believe, let me do which. Let's take a command like true. User bin true. I think if we do file user bin true. Oh no, it's an executable. Some of these, now I'm going to eat my words. Some of these are actually just Perl scripts. I'm not going to remember which ones off the top of my head are actually just Perl scripts. But some of these like baseline tools you expect to be there are just Perl. Like, it's great. I wish I had a good example. What's a good one that would probably be written in Perl? Yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head. Hopefully that satisfies your question though. Started writing Perl in 1995, spent more than 20 years getting paid to write Perl. Yeah, Perl is awesome. Like, it really is, and it has incredible staying power. Yesterday when I said interesting, that's my way of saying it's complex, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and I just didn't want to get derailed. So that's what I meant by it. But yeah, immense respect for it. I think it's pretty cool. Do I have enter D on here? Enter stat. What is that? No, these are, what commands am I thinking about that are written in Perl? There are some that are written in Perl. I know I'm not crazy, but I can't think of what they are. That's funny. Is there arcstat? Maybe that's it. A lot of Git core tools used to be Perl. Yeah, exactly. I think, oh man, I remember, like, must have been a decade ago installing Git, and it would install like the Perl base and stuff like that. So yeah, a ton of stuff like that. I don't have any resources for you for your Python class. I have no idea. Maybe people in the chat do. If they do, that's awesome. Sed? Yeah, Sed's a great program. I think Sed is fantastic. I don't think Sed is implemented in Perl, if that's what you're asking. I don't think that's what you're asking. I mean, we could find out. But no, it's not. I'm trying to think. There's got to be... I will have to get back to you about some of the core utils being written in Perl. I know there are some. And there are some that people are like, we should really get these to stop being Perl, but like they work, so no one really has any reason to touch them. So yeah, that's what I meant by interesting. Like, some people say interesting as a placeholder for bad. I mean interesting as legitimately interesting. Like, there's a ton of stuff going into it. Yeah, I think Perl's super cool actually. Okay, let's get back on track. Let's see where we are. So we are doing day 3's puzzle here, and I just grabbed this example input. In fact, let me go ahead. I'm going to stop my screen share real quick. I'm going to get my unique puzzle input. This will be the puzzle input I'll actually have to check, and I will store it. And I'm not going to share it because the input is unique for everybody. So let's call this real input.txt. Write the file to it. Oh boy, that's a lot of stuff in there. And we'll save it, and I will close that out. Okay, and now I'll resume my share. So now in my terminal here, we can see we have example input. This is what they gave us on the website. We have our program called multiplier, and we have real input.txt. If we do a word count of characters on real input.txt, there's 18,000 characters in that. By contrast, for the example input, there's 72. So my program better work. Let's open up the multiplier program. Actually, let me look back at the example input. I really think regex is the answer here. Like, I think this is actually going to be very simple. We just need mul, open paren, a 3-digit number, close paren. And I think we just do this, like, forever. Did my camera just do one of those reactions? God, I hate those. Like, iOS reaction things. They're so stupid. Why would that ever be enabled by default? That is infuriating, and it would just overlay it on the actual camera itself. Whatever, dude. Let's see. Let's chmod plus x multiplier, and let's try and do a regex for this. So if we did a regex equals, we're going to look for mul open parenthesis, which I think I need to escape. And then in here, I'm going to do a parenthesis 0 through 9, and we want that 1 to 3 times, comma, nope, close parenthesis, comma, open parenthesis, open square bracket, 0 through 9. Sorry, anybody watching this who isn't familiar with regex. I don't know if I can explain all this. I'll try, but I'm fairly comfortable with regex, so this is convenient that this is what we have to do. I think this is good enough. And what this regex does is we're going to match for the literal M, the literal U, the literal L, and then the literal parenthesis. And then this parenthesis is special to regex. This parenthesis puts these in a group. So whatever's inside the parenthesis gets put in a group. So here's what's inside the parenthesis. And what's inside, or parenthesis, I think parenthesis is plural. Someone corrected me on one of my comments on my social. I think it was Instagram or TikTok. I don't remember. And I think I've been saying it wrong. I think I say parenthesis when I mean parenthesis. I could be wrong on that, but I should double check that. But yeah, so we have 0 through 9, and this should appear 1 up to 3 times. So at least 1, at most 3. And then we do the exact same check here, and then we close the parenthesis. Or we close the parentheses, because we're putting a parenthesis to close the parentheses. I'll worry about that later. So if we have this regex, then we can do a regex match on this. So let's try this. We should read the entire input as one big string, right? Is the entire input just one line? I think it is, right? Example input is 1 line. Real input is 6 lines. Should there be 6 lines? Is that right? Okay. I guess new lines will just be random characters from it. So we need to read the entire thing. So what we could do, let's just do the entire string here. We'll just read the entire thing, dev standard in. And that should just read the entire thing as a string. Let's just double check that this works. If we do multiplier on the example input, then we get that. Nice. If we do it on the real input, then we get that whole big thing. Hey, that works. That's awesome. I'm going to pause right here and read chat. Let's take a look. This job market sucks. I've memorized the most schizophrenic Perl options and fun facts, and I can't get $10 an hour job. 12 struggling so far, and yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I am the worst person to consult about the current job market. If I do try and talk about it, I give the most like milquetoast response, trying to be uplifting to people, and I still get comments like, "You're out of touch," and it's like, you know what? Yeah, sure, I am. I don't care. So I'm not going to be great with that. Does bash support \d for 0 through 9? I don't know the answer to that question. I think it does. I've just always used 0 through 9, and I've never really bothered learning like the \d or the \w. So there's no reason. I'm not like avoiding it or anything. Hey man, been enjoying your content for the past few months. Keep up the good work. Glad you're doing Advent of Code. Yo, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. And yeah, I'm excited for Advent of Code. This seems like it's really cool. It's really interesting. Gonna get some false positives on the regex. That's fine. We'll encounter them when I encounter them. So let's go. Let's take a look and let's see what we can do here. I have to remember how to do this in Bash. Like, can I get all of the matches? Can I keep going through the input and the output? I don't remember. So this will be fun. How do we do regex matching in Bash? I think you do this. If $s is it this syntax? Also, just a quick message for the chat. I will sometimes hide chat when I'm figuring this out, and I don't want someone to hand feed me the solutions. If you guys want to throw out ideas, hey, that's totally cool, but I don't want any like backseat, gaming style thing. But I'm cool if you guys want to chill out or throw out like, hey, maybe this will work. Like, that's cool. But yeah. So I'm okay getting the syntax wrong and then iterating and getting the syntax right. Like, I'm okay with that. Let's put this in an ifs just to make sure. Echo. Let's just echo the whole array. Bash rematch. Rematch is for regex match. This will have every element of the match of the regex. In fact, let's separate them by new lines. Okay, let's run this on the example input. Cool. So I got that syntax wrong. Maybe it's this, or maybe it's just the tilde. Okay. Hey, that looks really good. So they actually got the first one out of it. That's great. Mul 2 and 4. So now we need to check again for. We need to keep going. I actually don't know how you do that with Bash. Is there a way you can do that with Bash? There's got to be. Yeah, I'm pulling up the Bash man page, and I'm just going to look for remesh. There must be something here. You have to just like... I'm trying to remember if there's a way to keep checking the string for continual matches, or if I need to like filter this out of the string and then try again, or loop over it character by character. This is an interesting problem. I know how to write these regex, but I don't know how to check them very well. I could cheat. I could definitely cheat. And what I mean by cheat is I could take every single closed parenthesis and replace it with a closing parenthesis and a new line. And then I could just do the whole thing line by line. So let me explain what I mean when I say that. So let's echo S here, and then let's just throw an exit here, so we're not even going to touch that code. It's as if I commented that code out. And we have this. Okay, so now I can do a nice find and replace on this variable. And we can say find every closing parenthesis and replace it with a closing parenthesis new line. Is that valid syntax? Can I just do a new line like that? I might have to do something a little bit different. Nope, I'm replacing it with a literal N when I do that. There is a syntax for this. Is it this? Okay, that worked. So that's very confusing syntax. This is find and replace. The 2 slashes means we're going to find every single occurrence of this closing parenthesis. I'm just going to say parenthesis until I learn what it is. And we're going to replace it with the parenthesis and a new line character. That's what we're going to do. So now, if they were valid, they still should be valid. Now we just have to go through and match on a line-by-line basis. So we can do this. Let's save it. We'll overwrite it. And then we'll do, what's the best way to read it in? Probably with a while loop. While read -r line, do, done. And we're going to read in from a here string of S. And then we're going to do a nice little regex match on that line. And let's just say if it doesn't match, we'll continue. We'll do the next iteration of the loop. So now this should find every occurrence of that. Well, it found 2 and 4 a whole bunch of times, so I'll have to switch something. I'm going to pull up the chat. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Equal tilde is weird. Awk is tilde and Perl is tilde equal. Okay, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's one of those things where, like, you roughly know the syntax, and, you know, with a couple trial and error, a little iteration, you'll get there. Parenthesis, I think. I think so, too. Yeah, oh, hey, look, it's Eric. Hey, welcome. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Oh, man. It was super cool seeing you before, and yeah, we're working on day number 3, part 1 right now. Yeah, someone in my comment section a couple days ago corrected me because I always say parentheses, regardless of if it's singular or plural, and then I think parenthesis is what I want when I'm talking about the singular one. And now that I'm dealing with regex here, I know that is something I should be concerned about. Also, Eric, I know you are a regex fan, so this should be fun for you. And the reason I know is because I watched the behind the scenes at the what was it, the Canada Pearl People club or whatever you call it. That was pretty good. Yeah, so I'm excited to do this. When I saw in your talk that you mentioned that, and you were unapologetically a regex fan, and it's so funny because when I started this, I was like, as I'm reading through the problem, like, this is regex, like, this problem is regex. I know regex. I'm not the best, but I know more than your average bear, so I was excited for this. Paren is also acceptable. That's a great way of getting around the problem. Just call it paren and then I'm good. Yeah, the singular form of parentheses is parenthesis. Yes, and I still will mess it up. So until I actually try and commit that to memory, that's what we're going to end up with. So yeah, would I trick people into practicing regex? Yes, absolutely. Well, that's what we're doing here. I constructed a nice little regex, and we're going to use Bash's ability to do regex to find the mul instruction with valid 1 to 3 digit numbers, comma 1 to 3 digit numbers without any stray white space or other characters. And the problem with doing that in Bash is I don't know how to keep reprocessing the same line and say, oh, you found a regex match? That's great. Go find the next one. Go find the next one. I don't think Bash has the concept of the next one. I could be wrong. It might. So my super janky solution right now is whenever I see a closing parenthesis, I will replace it with a closing parenthesis and a new line. That way I can just loop over the new lines and I'll know that no instruction has been messed up as a part of it. And I'm totally expecting this to break on part 2, but I'm not worried about part 2 yet. We're not there yet. The customer hasn't made any demands of me yet. So we're going to just try and get these answers and go forward. Oh, man. Been matching with dollar underscore so much. Hey, did you know dollar underscore exists in Bash too? A lot of people didn't know this. If I were to do like echo hello world, dollar underscore is the last argument of the command you ran. So if I echo this, it will be world because it was the last one I ran. Super convenient. And you can use that in like scripts and stuff. It's a nice throwaway variable, but you have to be careful of the conditions where it can be overwritten. I mean, same with Perl. The customer is quite happy right now. Beautiful, beautiful. The virtual AOC customer is happy right until you finish working. Yes, they will be happy. I will give them their answer. They will be happy, and then they will come to me with a part 2, but that's later. We can deal with that later. I use dollar underscore in Bash all the time. That's great. That's great. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I think I actually used dollar underscore in Bash. I have to remember this. I think I use it in Cedar. This is something that I wrote. Yes, this is crazy. I have an alias called Cedar, which is alias to this. CD and then this, which sounds wild. But have you ever been in a situation where you try to do like, let me CD into, I don't know, users, Dave, foo.txt. You forget that you're running CD. Maybe you're on a machine that doesn't have file completion enabled. And you're like, let me CD into foo.txt. Oh, wait, I wanted to go to the directory, not the file. I run Cedar. And now I've CD'd into the directory of the thing I try to go in. So basically, it's a quick way of getting the dir name on the last argument and then CDing you into it. So yeah, I use Cedar a lot. Cool. Now we're in the right spot. Beautiful. Beautiful. My favorite Bash tip is Control-R does a reverse case-insensitive search of your history. Yes! I actually have a video covering some of the tips like that because I use Control-R all the time to go through my history. I also use Control-L if I'm like mid-line, like echo hello. I'll do Control-L and it will clear the screen but retain all the text there. I don't have to get rid of it and type clear. Control-U will delete everything to the beginning of the line. Fun fact for anyone who's curious about where these keyboard shortcuts come from, it's not actually Bash. It is a library called readline, R-E-A-D, why don't I just type it? Readline, and Bash is compiled with it. A whole bunch of other things are compiled with readline support too. Like if I were to pop open a node REPL, I can say like, var foo equals hello. I can press up and it brings it up. I can do this and jump around the same way I jump around in Bash because they're both using readline. So super cool, super useful. I think Bash might actually have like a -- no readline. No something. There's no something. There's a way to start it without doing it. Maybe it's no editing, I think. Whatever. I don't feel like doing it right now. But there's a way you can invoke Bash without it, and then it's very confusing to use. It's super annoying. All right, so I completely forgot where I was. Okay, so we have this regex, and we're going to do it line by line. We're going to match on the regex. If we don't match, we just continue, which goes through the loop again. We're looping line by line, and we're going to print what we've matched on. So when we run the multiplier with the example input, we can see that, hey, that's wrong. That's not even close to right. We should not have 2, 4 all the time. So what's happening here? Well, let's look at S here. Oh, okay. I already see the problem. I define the variable here as line. Yep, line, and I'm calling $S here. So that would have never worked. I'm just matching on the whole input every single time. So that was just a stupid user error. Stupid error by the user. Not that I'm stupid, but that's a different story. Hey, look at that. That looks beautiful. We are extracting the multiplication instructions just fine. According to the website, the Advent of Code page, we should be able to extract 4 from this, and it should be 2, 4, 5, 5, 11, 8, and 8, 5. So we got it. We're good. And now the beautiful thing is this bash rematch is our matches. It's an indexed array. And the first element, the element 0, is the entire thing that matched. And then we have the 2 things that we had in groupings. This is no different than any sort of matching with regex in other languages that you may or may not be used to. So what can we do with this? We can save the variables as like, I don't know, left-hand side, bash rematch, short for regex match. Right-hand side, this will be 2. Let's not print these anymore. And then we need to multiply these. So product equals left-hand side times right-hand side. And let's go ahead and echo that product. This is just for our own sake. 8, 25, 88, and 44. I don't see those actually anywhere on the example. So I'll just try to see if I can get the answer from the example, which Advent of Code website says is 161. So as long as these add up to 161. So we'll need an accumulator. And then we will just accum plus equal... oh, wait. It's bash. Accum plus equal product. We have to do it in that notation so it knows it's math. Echo total is accum. This will be the total of all the products of all the multiplication instructions. And we get 161. That is what we were supposed to get. According to the website, I'll pull it up for you all here. We can see that 161 is what we were supposed to get. So that is amazing. We might already be done with part 1. So let's go over here and run it on the real input. And we get a total of this large number. I'm scared. That number seems like it might be too large. It could be correct. It's probably correct, but it seems very large. I'm a little scared. Let's go over here, put the answer in here, and submit. That's the right answer. You got 1 gold star. Let's go. All right, day 3, part 1 done. In fact, I realize I haven't actually had a bad submission yet, which is really cool. So I don't even know what that screen looks like. I kind of want to fabricate one just to see what that screen was, or maybe I'll just hit it naturally in the future. But what I really like about this challenge, and actually Eric talked about it in the behind the scenes video, is that there is no penalty for wrong answers. And I'm assuming the website does the same thing, but like I have example input and I know what the example output should look like. So I can just sit here and reiterate until I know it's perfect. That is such an empowering thing when it comes to being able to educate yourself and learn how to do this. So yeah, I'm super excited for that. Give me 1 minute. Getting a weird... I'm going to turn things off. Getting a notification on my computer. I'm not sure what this is. YouTube. I thought it printed a little YouTube error. I think we're okay. Okay, it says excellent connection. Sorry, I've had streams crash, so I'm just like a little bit burnt by this. Test message. I'm just gonna send a test message chat. Okay, cool. Sorry, I've had too many streams crash, so I just like to make sure that that's not happening. Cool. Let's go back into it. Let's continue to part 2. I'm so scared. Seems okay here. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's nice to get this notification. It's like I start to drop a couple frames. I'm like, oh, well, this isn't great. And of course, I'm one of those guys that like has my own custom hardware running routing software that's running inside an Illumos zone on Beehive Virtual. It's so convoluted where I'm like anything could break. So I'm just paranoid. Let's continue to part 2. Let's see. As you scan through the corrupted memory, you notice that some of the conditional statements are also still intact. Okay. If you handle some of the uncorrupted conditional statements in the program, you might be able to get an even more accurate result. Neat. There are 2 new instructions you'll need to handle. The do instruction enables future... Oh, boy. Enables future mul instructions. The don't instruction... The instruction has an apostrophe in it. That's beautiful. Disables future mul instructions. Only the most recent do or don't instruction applies, at the beginning of the program, mul instructions are enabled. Okay, this seems okay so far. So basically we have this like do and don't, and all they will do is toggle a flag on if it's enabled or not, and it will start in the state of being enabled. Okay, this all seems straightforward. Yeah, I love the don't instruction. It has an apostrophe in it. I have to say, the way that you've handled this is just like a small thing, but like the way that these are highlighted, I really like it because you don't have to use like if I was dealing with someone who wasn't like a programmer, they would use a single quote or a double quote, and that's how they would specify something. But you've used a completely on its own bold with a glow around it where nothing else is going to have that. So you're free to use double quotes, single quotes, and apostrophe, whatever weird characters you want, which is really cool. And further than that, this is just a nice education in that a language doesn't need to conform to your preconceived notions. It can have a single quote in there. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if we start seeing emojis in some of this. I think that'd be a nightmare for some accessibility reasons, but like regardless, like I can imagine this gets crazy. So okay, we have a do and don't instruction. Do and don't toggle a flag. They don't toggle, they actually set it explicitly, and it's set explicitly at the beginning to enabled. Okay. I try to highlight the important bits. It also helps with skimming and finding definitions and such. Yeah. Oh man. It's funny in your talk. I only finished it like when I was done working, and then I kind of jumped on here right after. But you've hyped me up. I want to go see some of the fast solvers you were talking about, the people that go through and skim and just grab the instruction, like the speedrunners, basically. You know, like I love watching. One of my hobbies is watching like speedrunners and actually trying to like speedrun video games because it's so different than like playing the game normally. And I would love to see what people's like tactics are for this because I'm sure the glowing and the bold helps them a ton. Let's see. And it helps to prevent people from accidentally skipping important words, which reduces frustration. Yeah, that's super cool. You can make sure to like really emphasize what you want. That's awesome. Okay, so xmul, don't, mul, do. Okay, cool. Now, this is crazy to me. Oh, man. That's so funny. Okay. Like, I wouldn't even have, like, do not. Like, that's crazy. And then the fact that do is part of undo. Like, that's so wild. Okay. The corrupted memory is similar to the example from before, but this time the mul 5 and mul 11.8 instructions are disabled because there is a don't instruction before them. The other mul instructions function normally, including the one at the end that gets re-enabled by a do. This time the sum of the results is 48. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Handle new instructions. What do you get if you add up all of the results of the just enabled multiplications? Okay. Okay, cool. What I'm noticing here, though, is I think is the example input here different than what I had on part 1? I think this example is slightly different, right? Can I just scroll up to see part 1? I can, yeah, because this one has do underbar not, and then it has a then, whereas this one is slightly different. Okay, so I'll save this one as example2.txt. Let me look at the chat. The basic strategy is read the last sentence, guess what the puzzle is, skim the input file, have already solved similar puzzles 16 times in the last week because they eat, drink, sleep puzzles. Yeah, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. And then implement their guess with one eye while skimming the rest of the highlighted bits with their other eye. Yeah, that is, like, yeah, I would just have to see it. It's wild. I'm sure it's fun, but it's like a completely different approach to how I'm taking here, so it's just interesting to see. All right, let me turn back on the terminal before I forget. Cool. So I will make, let's do example input 2.txt. We'll save this. This is directly from the site. So now if we cat that out, you can see that's what it looks like. That makes sense. And when we get the sum of this, we should get 48. Cool. So let's go ahead and CP multiplier with, let's just call it multiplier part 2. Multiplier part 2. Okay. So we have the mul instructions that we want. We're going to want a do and a don't instruction. This is so wild. Okay. Let's think about how we're going to do this. Because right now what we've done is we've taken every parenthesis. Oh my, I actually think the way we solve this is going to be useful because we took the closing parenthesis and we added a new line to it. So let's go ahead and just cancel these out. Don't even care what this accumulator is. Don't print the total. Let's just echo this line and see what we get. So we're going to parse it line by line, and that's all we're going to do is we're going to print out what line we've seen. But we've added our own line break, so we're going to get more than the example input has. Of course, the example input has 0 line. Well, 1 line because there's only one. It's only 1 line long. So we have the mul instruction. We have the don't. We have the mul that's been turned off. We have the mul that's been turned off. We have the do, which is so funny that it's undo. And then we have the mul that's turned on. Oh, I think this is going to be more than doable. That's crazy. Let me think about this. I can actually tighten up my regex now that I think about it. Because we've put the closing parenthesis at the end of the line, we could actually anchor this here. I think we can do that. We have just mul. Let's do mul regex, do regex, and don't regex. We'll just make 3 variables, and I'll think through these as I'm writing them. But I think this is going to work. Famous last words. Do, end of line, and then we have don't. Oh, that's gonna be a problem because the quoting. The quoting is gonna be an issue, but that's okay. And then don't, open and close, paren, end of line. But we'll have to put a backslash to escape it. But because we're using double quotes in bash, we're gonna have to do a double backslash to escape the backslash. So regex will process one. Bash will process 2 slashes, which will get turned into 1, and then regex will process 1, which is exactly what we want. Oh, that's a fun little trip up with that apostrophe in there. Oh man, if I wasn't so comfortable with the syntax, that would have been annoying. All right, so enabled equals true. We start in the enabled state. So let's do this. If line equals do regex, then enabled equals true. Elif line equals don't regex, then enabled equals false. Elif line equal mul regex, then if line equals mul regex and enabled. So if it's enabled and we match the multiplier regex, then we do this. And I think that's it. Let me look over this logic real quick before I do it. So we have the enabled flag start to true. We have the accumulator set to 0. We check if it matches the do regex, then we enable the flag. Then we check if it matches the don't regex, because we only have to process 1 per line. There will only ever be 1 instruction on 1 line. And then if it equals the multiplier regex and it's enabled, then we actually do the work. So if we do this, oh boy. Multiplier part 2, example input 2. Let me look at the website. The website says the sum of the results is 48. It doesn't take an argument. It reads from standard in. Total is 48. I think we're good. I think we got it. I'm going to pause here and look at chat. Whew. You could do the... you could totally do that. Close the single quote, put an escape single quote, and then reopen the single quote. Yep, absolutely. If you want even more backslash nonsense, 2015 day 8 is about that. Oh no, really? This is my little notes that I have. 2015 day 8 backslash madness. Writing that down because that's wild. Yeah, you're playing chopsticks. And this is what happens. Like, regex is its own language, kind of. It basically is its own syntax, I should say. And bash is a language. So once you have a language inside a language, yeah, you're going to have to escape. And you have to think, what is interpreting this and what do I want to interpret this? And that's like, if you can solve that, you can solve a lot of the problems you deal with. So now, let me handle this on the real input because my real input hasn't changed. I love that you don't change the real input. I don't know if you do in the future, but like I love that the real input is the same. It's so cool. Like using all the tools you have, modify the data in a slightly different way to get a slightly different answer. Like I think that's just it's really cool. Wow, look at that total. Okay, this is meaningless. And each puzzle input is unique to the user, so even the creator looking at this has no idea if it's right or wrong. We're just gonna have to let the website tell us if it's right or wrong, which is really, really neat. So let's go ahead and submit this. That's right. You're 1 gold star closer to finding the chief historian. You've completed day 3. You can share this victory or return to your advent calendar. We did it. Day 3 down. That was awesome. That was a super fun one. Oh man, nice puzzle. I really like that one. That was super interesting. Let's see. Nope, the real input never changes. That's so cool. I don't know why. That's just like, that's a touch I really appreciate. I think that's super cool. Oh man, yeah, this is fun. We are crushing it. There is something I wanted to see because I realized I haven't like looked back at the calendar. Oh, it totally is. Okay, this is so cool. Because I haven't done this before. But when you get a gold star, it fills out some of this like image that you're creating. That's so cool. I should have checked this page when I only had 1 gold star. I wonder if it's like half the image or if it's not as stylized. Because this is, oh, and this one's even there, but it's grayed out because the puzzle's not active yet. This is so cool. Like I said, just a lot of little touches that went into this. Really, really neat. Anna says, are you going to save these videos to a playlist, please? Don't worry. Yes, I am. So on top of recording these, which they're live, they get unlisted when the stream ends, but I have a playlist of all the lives, so you can go there and rewatch them if you want to. I'm going to go through, and I'm locally recording these, so I'm going to go through and cut them up and upload them as their own individual videos. I just need to find time, working a full-time job, doing these puzzles, cleaning up around the house. Like I have too many things going on. Creating different content. I have other videos that I've been editing, like I'm reviewing people's scripts as part of a video, and those have been taking forever. But yes, I do plan on doing this, and I plan on doing it soon because I feel like getting these up like in December would be cool, like, before Christmas. Obviously some of them after Christmas. I don't want to spoil any puzzles. That's why I'm trying to stay a couple days behind. But yes, these will be going up as separate videos, so do not worry about that. Making me realize I got to dust off the regex skills. Yes. When I post a video where I talk about regex, I always get this comment. Everyone hits you up with the very original joke, which, don't get me wrong, it's a funny joke, but they're like, when you have a problem and you solve it with regex, you now have 2 problems. And it's like, haha, it's funny, but like, I disagree with that. Regex is incredibly powerful for describing syntax and extracting data. I think it's super useful. I think in 1 line of regex, you can do what like 50 lines of, procedural programming can do in certain circumstances. So I'm not against it. I think regex is really cool and incredibly powerful. And look at some of these regex engines that exist. They're so fast. It's crazy how fast regex matching is. Like, try doing something in JavaScript where the regex engine, is like compiled, but then you're trying to do something with a bunch of splitting and trimming and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, you have to keep going back to JavaScript functions, whereas one little regex can just do what you want. So yeah, let's see. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I will be editing these and uploading these. Don't worry. I just love AOC for having something to look forward to every day until Christmas. Makes this month even better. Kudos to Eric. Yeah, no, I agree. This is super fun. Like, I'm having a ton of fun here. Yeah, no, this is just great. Wow, Eric in the house? Yes! Eric is in the house. And you should have been here yesterday, because that was wild. Eric was in the house, and I was going through and solving puzzles, talking to chat. It was a good time. I was about to end stream, and Eric's like, hey, you should go look at the About page and read the first sentence. I think you'll enjoy it, of the About page on Advent of Code. And for those who don't know, when you click it, this is the first sentence. And I was like, bro, like, you waited until the end of the stream to drop that. Like, respect. That was a baller move. I still think about that. That's incredible. That was awesome. All right, so what do you guys say? Oh yeah, we got a ton of time. That was way faster than I thought it'd be. So let's go through and do day number 4. I'm scared. Oh, side note, Eric, I was when I was watching your video, you said something that really stuck out to me, which I thought was really cool. You were just talking about how people instinctively, and I realize even I did this yesterday, instinctively I'm like, oh yeah, day 1, 2, 3, I should be able to get that done, no problem. Day 24, 25, I might struggle with those. And you talked about that, where like if you took someone and gave them a puzzle and told them it was day 25, they might not be able to do it. But if you gave them the exact same puzzle and told them it was day 8, they're more likely to be able to do it. And it's just this weird like placebo effect of, believing you can or believing you can't. And I realized, I was like, that's so cool and awesome that you've done work thinking about that. I think that's really good. And it inspired me to change my own mindset. I already decided I was going to do this, but I'm going to do this even harder. I'm just going to try every day as if it's its own day. I'm not going to think about a ramp up, ramp down, difficulty increase, complexity increase. I'm not going to worry about any of that. I'm here to just do every day. And it's a Boolean. Either I solve the puzzle or I don't. It's not really a Boolean. I might come up with some half solution, but you know what I mean? It's a Boolean whether I get what goes in the text field that gets my star. So that's my goal, which I thought was really cool that you actually called it out specifically. I thought that was really neat. Let's see. Catch up on chat real quick. You mentioned emojis. I think the context of regex earlier, but if you want some emoji fun, you should try out emojiling. That I don't even want to know what that is. Is that a language just built off emojis? Because I'm scared of that. Of course it exists, but I'm scared of that. String processing without regex is basically impossible. The quote, no regex solutions always become homebrew, reinvented regex anyways. I wouldn't say it's impossible. It just depends on how structured the input data is. Because if you're like processing, actually a perfect example is what we just did, where I'm processing instructions. If I were to write like some sort of language where I can process instructions and you have to pop thing or push things onto a queue every time you see an open paren and pop things off. If you've ever done like the basic CS program of like a calculator, I think that makes more sense than regex. So like even my regex solution, I was worried because I'm like, depending on how far Eric is going to push it with part 2, this regex solution might fail. So yeah, but I know what you mean though. Regex is, I think is a solution that a lot of people are afraid to go to, even though it probably is the right call in a lot of circumstances. Eric says that's 100% the right approach because every day is different. Even if you just parse the input on a day, you started the process of investigating the puzzle and might learn something to let you proceed. Yeah, like that's huge to think about. And he even mentioned like if you have like one puzzle that's slightly built off the other one, like you arrange them in such an order where like your brain is already primed. You're like, hey, I've already seen this before. So yeah, I think that's super cool. Like you put a ton of care into this and it shows. So I think that's super cool. But yeah, let's do it. Let's jump into day 4 here. Let's see what we got here. All right. Looks like the chief's not here. Next, one of the historian pulls out a device and pushes the only button on it. After a brief flash, you recognize the interior of the series monitoring station. Before I click that link, please, I don't know what it is. I have no idea what the series monitoring station is. Please tell me it's like a Super Metroid reference, because that would be like absolutely unreal if it is. It might not be. I could be totally way off here, but that's exactly where my brain goes. What do we have here? Oh, is this a callback? Oh my god, it is a callback to like 2019 or something. Oh my god, this is so cool. I didn't realize you did callbacks in your own thing. Oh my gosh, this is wild. There is like a whole lore going on here. It's a secret. Okay, what's the theme of day 6? It's a secret. That's really funny. No, that would be the Zevis monitoring station. That's so true. That's exactly what was. Wow. Okay. So, all right. So it's not a Super Metroid reference, but Eric still flexed the Super Metroid knowledge. So I mean, I gotta give credit where credit is due. That's incredible here. Okay. So let's go. As the search for the chief continues, a small elf who lives in the station tugs on your shirt. She'd like to know if you could help her with her word search, your puzzle input. She only has to find one word, Xmas. Okay, cute. The word search allows words to be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, written backwards, or even overlapping other words. Oh, okay. It's a little unusual, though, as you don't merely need to find one instance of Xmas, you need to find all of them. Okay, cool. Here are a few ways Xmas might appear, where irrelevant characters have been replaced with dots. Oh, irrelevant character. Oh, awesome. Oh, boy. Okay, this is gonna be fun to do. I love these problems that are like well explained in a visual sense, and then when you have to turn it into code, it can be really difficult. Because I mean, you talked about this in your talk, and I've like looked at the Reddit. I didn't want to spoil anything, but I've looked at like previous puzzles. People make the visualizers for the previous puzzles. That's nuts, and that's one of those things where it's like, oh man, being able to visualize this stuff is so cool. Let's see. In this word search, Xmas occurs a total of 18 times. Here's the same word search again, but where letters not involved in any Xmas have been replaced with dot. Oh, okay. Xmas here, Xmas diagonal. Oh, God. Okay. Take a look at the Little Elf's word search. How many times does Xmas appear? Here's your puzzle input. Okay, I'm gonna turn off my screen sharing. Actually, wait, no. I'll make the directory for this real quick. Where am I? Make dir day 04, cd into day 04, vim example input.txt. We're going to grab the example input here, and we're going to paste it in. So we have it. Ooh, spell checking enabled by default. And then we're going to grab the real input.txt. And I'm not going to share this part with you all, but this is where I get my puzzle input. And I copy and paste the entire thing in. I mean, it's specific to me, but either way, I'm not going to share the inputs. And then we'll close that, restart the share. Okay, we are good to go. Let me catch up on chat before I jump into this. Can I ask one last question? Is that directed to me or towards Eric? Because if it's to me, ask whatever you want. Yeah, people sometimes complain about the number of 2D/grid type puzzles, but they're so easy to explain and visualize and Intuit that it's hard not to use them. Hey, I think they're fun. I like them. But I like, one of the things I do in my own like spare time is 2D video game programming stuff. So I'm like super into the world of like having a whole world that's represented by a 2D grid. And like, so a lot of it kind of comes natural. By natural, I mean, I do it a lot. Let's see. I know the complainers are in the minority. It's tough. Oh my goodness. I will tell you. I mean, I'm sure you know this, but like I started posting constant content on Instagram, and I've been doing TikTok for a couple of years. Instagram, I just started in like April, and now suddenly I have like over 100,000 followers on there. And it's so hard not to let the complainers that I know are a 0.01% minority get to you when it's like, why are you guys so loud? You don't represent even close to like the majority consensus here. Oh man. I don't know. I just don't get it. I'm not going to complain about a puzzle. Someone's making a puzzle for me to solve. Like, I'm in no shape to complain. If I want to complain, I'll go make my own puzzles. Like, that's how I see it. Very open source in that sense. Like, hey, you want to complain about open source software? Cool. Patch is welcome. Like, yeah. Let's see. To you. Okay. Besides Bash scripting, what would be your go-to programming language to puzzle solve? Let's see. Let me jump on real quick. Have you tried Warp Terminal, Yabai for Mac? Nope. Are those AI wrapped in a terminal thing? No. I pretty much stay away from AI and LLMs. I'm not a hater. I'm not a doomer. I just don't have any reason to use it. I mean, if you guys saw me earlier, I was looking through the Bash man page. That's how I approach problems. If I weren't solving these in Bash, I would reach for the next language I'm most comfortable with, which would be... Actually, no, it's a kind of a tie, but I would reach for Rust. I would reach for Rust because of the quick... iterative ability and the really simple built-in like vector and hash map types. C would probably be my next go-to language, but if I wasn't doing this in Bash, I'd be doing it in Rust. Rust is an amazing language. I can't say more good things about it. Like, it really is great. But let's start focusing on this problem. Okay. Horizontal, vertical, diagonal, written backwards, or even overlapping other words. Overlapping is interesting. It just means the letters can be used multiple times. I may have that assumption wrong, but we'll see. The actual word search would be full of letters instead, and the word appears a total of 18 times. So 18 is the number we want to get out of the example input. Okay. Sorry, I'm scrolling the web browser. I don't actually have it up, I realize. So if I look through this, it's going to appear 18 times. Oh boy, look at this. It's so funny. The diagonal going left, the diagonal going left, the diagonal going right. Okay. My brain's already churning, so I'll speak out loud what I'm thinking. I think I'm going to try and go through the puzzle and find the beginning of each word. This is my current thought. I don't want any advice on this, so don't throw in your own 2 cents here. I think I'm going to start looking for every X because that's the beginning of the word and see how many times I can make MAS appear directly after it in all possible directions. And I will iterate through the list and do that every time. I think that's my current goal. So let's see. Complainer, stop making fun things, or your definition of fun doesn't match mine. Make things fun for me. Yeah, it happens a lot, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna catch up on chat real quick. You did any Linux Rising i3? Nah, I don't really use Linux on a desktop. I just use Mac on my desktop. Linux, and I don't even really use Linux on the server. That's kind of a mistake that a lot of people make. I'm not saying you're making a mistake, but a lot of people assume I use Linux. I use Illumos. It's a fork off of Open Solaris. I run OmniOS on my server operating system. Yeah, I do use some Linux here and there and FreeBSD and stuff like that. Like I think my router's OpenSense, but it's being virtualized on Illumos. So no, on a desktop, pretty much just using Mac. In all my ample free time. Hey, I understand it. I know people that want to learn Rust, and it's like, yeah, when am I going to get to? And it's like, yep. Yeah, I watched the behind the scenes talk this year. I didn't hear him say anything about Rust. Yeah, if you ever do find free time, which I know is incredibly fleeting, there is what is it? Just like the Rust programming language book is super useful, really easy to read too. Similar to like the Kernighan and Richie C book, like it holds your hand, and it's like it really is a cool language. But my God, is there a learning curve? Learning Rust was like learning how to use Vim. Like it really was. Like I knew it was worth it, but in the first couple of months, 6 months to like a year, I was like, I hate this. Why would anyone reach for it? Now it's like it's one of my favorite languages. Is that a magic mirror behind you? Yes, it is. I made that probably 2016, 2017. If you Google my name and magic mirror, just Google like Dave Eddy magic mirror, you'll find it somewhere on my blog. I go through the whole steps. I even built the frame and everything around it. But I've done a lot of stuff. Like look at this wood beam and look at the wood ceiling and like this desk. Like I built all of it, and I blog it all, so you can go look it up if you want to. Okay, I'm getting distracted by chat. Let's figure out how to do this problem. I am worried. I'm very worried that we might be bumping into one of the issues with Bash here, and that is Bash's ability to do two-dimensional arrays. And what I mean by that is Bash does not have the ability to do two-dimensional arrays. You can't do it. I can't put an array inside an array in Bash. I can have an associative array, I can have an indexed array, but I can't put one inside the other. So I might need to store all this data in one big array and then write a helper function to take X, Y coordinates and turn a one-dimensional array into a two-dimensional array. I might need to do that. So let's see. Let me pause and read chat real quick because chat is bumping. I'm glad people are enjoying these live streams. I'm super happy about that. Oh yeah, lifetimes are pretty wild when you start learning Rust. All right, let's do this. Well, I'm gonna stop getting distracted. Cool. That's our example input. So let's make a file called word search solver. Okay. And while we need to read the whole thing into an array, character by character, right? Is that what we want to do? Let me think about this. I said we could store it all in a one-dimensional array. Technically, we could store it all in a one-dimensional array, but each element of the array could just be a string, and then we can index that string. That's not the end of the world. Let's not worry about that right now. Let's just read every character. How do you read every character in Bash? Is it -n chars? I think that's how you do it. Let's do this. Read -n1 char. Do echo char. Done. I think this is valid. We're gonna find out. That looks valid. It looks like it read the new line as a character. How do you get that off? There's no trim. There's something else you can do. I think I might have to mess with the IFS to do that, but I could also just filter it out and be lazy. So I might just be lazy. We're gonna be super lazy here. -n char. So char must be set or we continue. That's all we're doing. So we're just gonna filter out if char is unset. It must not be unset. What is it? Is it really just a new line? There's no way it is, right? Am I crazy? Did I do this? I'm just testing now because I actually don't remember how to do this off the top of my head. No. I think this is wrong. Yeah, that seems wrong. Yeah, there's got to be some way to trim off that new line I'm getting. I don't know. I'll figure it out in a second. Let me catch up on chat because you guys are cranking away. Unless you guys are just talking to each other, which is awesome. Oh, heck yeah. You guys are just having your own conversation about Pearl. I love it. Oh my God. Keep going. That's great. I think that's awesome. This makes me feel like a real streamer, guys. I appreciate it. I mean that unironically. That's actually really cool. Let's see. I'm gonna look at help read, but I don't think it's here. Continue until the first character of dilemma is read rather than new line. I think maybe I just want regular N. Oh, I might just want regular N. I don't know why I'm reaching for a cap N. Nope, still a problem. What character is this? Can I do this? Yeah. $12. Isn't that a new line? Or is that a space? Let's get the ASCII code for a space. 32. Is this a new line? 92. That's not right. $10. So I'm not doing something right here, but I think I'm overcomplicating this. Yeah, I'm doing something stupid here. I think I can just do this though. If char equal new line. This is lame. This is super lame. There's got to be a way cleaner way to do this. Oh, well, that didn't match anything then. What is this? I mean, there's ways I can solve this, but I'm like genuinely curious. Yeah, I could reach for TR to remove control characters. I could absolutely do that. I'm just curious what control character it is. Is it like a carriage return? Is that what I'm getting here? It might be. It might be that. Whoa. What is... Oh, hold on. I switched to QWERTY somehow. There we go. We're back in Dvorak. This feels like home. Echo high. I don't know. I don't know what I'm reading here. That's so crazy that that is even a thing. I think I can do this though. Make a new array of all. And then read-RA the line. And then we can append the line array to all. And then we can printf hey, that looks way better, doesn't it? That looks like kind of what we're getting. Let's see, let me catch up on chat. Interesting. What's the problem you're running into? Carriage return, new line. It might be new line, carriage return. I don't know. There's going to be some control character there. But I think I'm just going to skip over that and just kind of work around it. I need this to split on nothing. So I think I can do empty string here. How do I get every... There's a way to do every character, like... I realize I'm spending a lot of time just doing this, but I really... I'm committed now. I need to figure out what I'm doing wrong here. Yeah, see, that's not right. It's reading the whole thing in as one line because it's not splitting it correctly. I wanted to split on every possible character. Don't you give it like this? Or is that going to try and split on a null? That might try and split on a null byte. Yeah, I think I need this to be nothing, right? Yeah, and then read is the delimiter to what it reads till. So it should read till a new line, but it should split them based on nothing. Like, this should work. Unless I'm doing something wrong. I'll read chat. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Cool. You guys are just talking away. That's awesome. I'm doing something really, really silly here. And I don't know what it is. I've never spent this much time trying to get just data into the program. This seems so silly. Well, what I can do is I can admit defeat and just, while I can just break the whole thing into characters. I think. Yeah, I can admit defeat by putting a nested loop here. And then this can just read in from line. And that shouldn't eat my standard in. That still gives me that new line character, though. There's something funky town about this. I can't quite figure out what's going on. Can you set IFS equal to null byte? Maybe. It could be something as simple as that. This is definitely a gap in my knowledge that I'd have to figure out. Because I'm doing something super wrong here. We read till the end of the null, and we split it on the null byte. Just reads the whole thing. You try IFS equal new line. I don't know if that will help, because that'll just read the whole thing. Yeah, I'll just read them like that. I want to get them character by character, so we would need a N1. And then we still have that problem. We still have that weird character that's set there. Dash nchar, I already tried that. Didn't work. Yeah. I had this. Like, either it's set or we continue, but it still gave us the same problem. So it is set. Oh, well, now it worked this time. Huh. Maybe it was the using the null byte in the ifs. Let's find out. Or the new line here? I don't think so. No, it's not. What am I doing differently here? I had this syntax before. I definitely had the syntax before. I don't know why it wasn't working before. I must have been doing something slightly differently. Thank you, everyone, for jumping in. I'll have to go back and watch the VOD and figure out exactly what I did, because this is crazy. I'm going to be back. Give me like 1 minute, because I need to get something to drink. Do I have Kause on here? NPX Kause? BRB 1 min. Pipe lolcat. I don't have lolcat. Oh my god, none of this works. I don't even have Kause on here. This is a mess. BRB 1 minute. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to grab something to drink. good. I made some grilled cheese for dinner and some tomato soup, and the cast iron still, just the whole thing just smells beautiful down there. Oh my god. I think before you didn't have Dash R. I thought I did. I'll have to rewatch the VOD. Maybe it was and not pipes. I think I tried both, but who knows? We'll look at the VOD. There are no 2Ds array in Bash, right? Correct. There are not. Let's see. Okay. Hey, what do you guys think? Should I do more streams with him in it? Get a nice Dave cardboard cutout. Yeah, that's beautiful. All right. We're back. Time to lock in. All right, so we have all the possible characters. Let's just push the character into an array of all characters. And then we will print the array of all characters. Cool. There's every single character in one single array. Now what we need to do is we need to get the length of... Oh, we read over this line by line. Oh, yeah, look at this. Let's see. We need to get the length of it. So let's do len equals 0. Let's just reread the file, honestly. We could just reread the file to get the length of it. So we have to get how long one of the lines is, and we can do it like this. So example input, we'll just grab one of the first lines from it. So, oh no, we already read standard in, didn't we? We did. At this point, we would have already consumed standard in. This is annoying. I think you're making it hard on yourself by making it one line. Yes and no. At the beginning, I'm making it harder on myself, but when it actually comes time to do this, there are no 2D arrays in Bash. I'm going to have to index them as a one-dimensional array. So that's what's going on here. But we can just count it. And we can just get around it really, really simply. Let's throw a bunch of this out and let's start fresh. While read dash r line do done. We're going to read an entire line. The length will be how long the line is. Line is just a variable. And the height will get added for every line that we parse. So we'll set length equal to 0, height equal to 0, and we will calculate these as we go through. And then in our array of all, we will add every single character from the line into the array. So while read dash r dash n1 car do done, we will take this logic, we'll move it up here, and then we'll have an array of every character, and we will have, let's see, puzzle length, puzzle height, and then we'll print the entire puzzle character by character. That's what we're going to do. Cool, so the puzzle length is 10 and the height is 1. Cool, so part of that's right. So what are we, 10 characters across? Yes, we are. And the height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and whatever. The height is not 1. Height plus plus. Oh, this is consuming this all. That's what's going on here. I need to tell it to actually explicitly read the line, or else it's going to just drain the standard input. Puzzle length 10, puzzle height 10, and those are all the characters. Okay, well, that part's wrong. We'll get there. Let's see. Let me go back to chat, see what's going on here. Yeah, okay, so there's a couple things going on here. Yeah, I'm going to read it line by line and just store it as an array. I could have an array for every row, I could, but indexing into a string like that can be kind of annoying in Bash. Let me double check. It's not the end of the world. I could do it that way, and I might end up doing it that way, but let's see. If I have like foo equals hello, I don't think this syntax works, does it? Yeah, that syntax doesn't work. In order to get 3 out of it, I'd have to do that to get the third character out of it. Which, yeah, you might be right. That might be easier. Cat input.text and tr. Yeah, you could. I'm trying to avoid using external tools like tr or cat or anything. I'm trying to do it all built into bash if possible, reaching for external tools if I have to. So I'm avoiding a bunch of those. I'm just doing it with pure bash. Don't cat in a grep. Yeah, I think that was more for an example, not like they were suggesting that specifically. But yeah, that's my goal, is to try to use all built-in functions if I possibly can. But yeah, I think... yeah, I think you're right, though. I think storing an array of strings and each string represents an entire row is a lot easier. Because then if I just have puzzle here and then puzzle plus equal the line, then it will be a lot easier to comprehend. We'll have a length, we'll have a height, and then we'll have this, which will be the entire puzzle. So if I rerun that, yeah, and then we can deal with that. When it comes time to actually index this array, we can write a little helper function that can do it. What about an associative array keyed by x, y, storing single characters, and use the new lines to know when to increment y in your reader? Oh, you could totally do it that way. 100%. Yeah, that's a good solution. In fact, I like that solution a lot, because then not only am I able to do 2-dimensional arrays, I'm able to do arbitrarily large dimensional arrays. 3-dimension, 4-dimension, that's just another comma and number, which is a key I can construct. So yeah. Yeah, I know, hint, hint. It's coming from Eric, so I'm thinking this might be useful when it comes time to do future puzzles. Let's try that. I'm curious about that. Let's see. No, let's save that for a future puzzle if I ever need to deal with 3-dimensional arrays. But for now, I'm going to try doing it this way. We'll see how far I can make it this way. Because already this is kind of scuffed, but here we are. All right. So now we have to loop over every part of the puzzle. For I equals 0, I less than, let's go left to right. So I less than length, I plus plus. And no, we're doing this like game programming. So this is our y. We are going to change our, this is not our y. This is our x. Whatever. Let's stick with i's for now. I know I'm going to get this backwards at least once. I just know it. I know it. But that's fine. Yeah, look how much that lends itself to an associative array. Yeah, I mean, Jesus, look how much that really does. That's actually crazy now that you say it. Let's see. I just heard you mention associative arrays and was trying to think of how I would do this in bash. Gotcha. I barely ever write bash. Yeah, that's fair. But you say you like Perl, so there are a lot of similarities between the two, really, in coming up with unconventional ways to solve problems. I use bash to get to Perl. Oh, that's so amazing. I use bash to avoid Perl, so I respect that. I respect that a ton. There's dozens of us, guys. I always get that stuff backwards. Me too, and that's fun, especially when I'm doing like game development. It's so fun when I'm moving the character to the right and the screen starts scrolling down. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Fortunately, getting it backwards here doesn't matter. This puzzle doesn't have an orientation. Hey, that's true. I didn't even think about that. You have to stop. You don't have to stop. Keep going. But you're just giving me so many different ideas. Like, well, I don't need to find a letter and solve it in every possible location. I just need to find a letter, solve it in one direction, and then flip the puzzle, solve it in the same direction, flip the puzzle, solve it in the same direction. As long as I do that with every possible orientation, hey, that's another solution. That's really funny. All right. So we printed the puzzle. Let's make sure we can still reprint the puzzle if we need to. So C equals puzzle, and then we index it at I plus J, close this, echo dash N, C. This isn't correct. Before anyone says anything, this is not correct. I'm just setting up this. Okay, we're going to echo without a new line the character that we got, and we're going to echo a new line here. So we're going to reconstruct the puzzle. And this is I here, so we have to I times J times height. I think that works. Let me throw another echo here. So these two puzzles should be the same if I did this correctly. So MMSXX, MMSXX. Down here, MASX, MASX. Going down MAMX, MAMX. This puzzle looks the same. So we were able to reconstruct the puzzle using our own little notation here. So hey, that's really, really cool that we're able to do this. Let me check the chat. Eric is a fountain of excellent bad ideas. This is why puzzles are so much fun. Because like you have these ideas that you're like, I would never do this, is a bad idea. But it solved the puzzle. So like, how bad of an idea is it really? You know what I mean? If you come up with enough bad ideas, one of them is bound to be good. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm all here for the bad ideas. I mean, I'm doing Advent of Code and Bash, which, from some of the people I've seen, this isn't even like close to crazy. This is still like resembling a programming language. There's some gnarly people out there, which is awesome. No cost for failure. Yeah, you talked about that in your behind the scenes talk. I think that's huge. I think that's absolutely huge. I didn't realize that, but in my jobs, I implicitly set up things where I can iterate with zero cost for failure, because that is just so, it pairs so well with how the human brain works, in my opinion. So let's go here. We're going to loop over every single character that we see from left to right, top to bottom. We are going to, if the character, here's what we'll do. Character equals X, because that's the beginning of the string we're looking for. That's what we want. So if we don't find it, we will try again. We're only going to look at X characters. So what that does, let me visualize what I'm doing actually, because this will be helpful even for myself. If the character is an X, then we will echo -n X. Else, we will echo -n a period, which means do nothing. And then we'll put this echo back down here. So we're going to take the input puzzle and turn it into this, which is completely wrong. Okay, so I did something wrong. What did I do wrong here? Well, let me go back to chat. Let me check chat, see if anything's going on here. That's why I like games like Factorio. I can go design something and it doesn't have to be right. Nobody will be mad at me if it's wrong. That's so funny. People have told me to check out Factorio, and other people have told me to stay far away from it because it will destroy your free time. So yeah. Oh man. On Advent of Code. In the real world, I have no promises for you. Yeah, no, that sounds correct. I'm worried here. Is this character, if character equal X? Am I crazy? Is that not an X character? Here's what I'm worried about now. Is there some control character that's going on here because of that read command? There shouldn't be. Oh. Right. Hold on. Yeah, I'm dumb. The more I think about this, the more I think the associative array is the way to do it. The more I think that's the way to do it. Yeah, because this isn't right at all. What I wrote here is not right at all. All right. We're in the 11th hour, but we're doing it. We're doing it, you and Eric. Associative array time. So we've looped over the row. Now we're going to loop over every character in that string. So we have the length of the string. for I is equal to, oh, that's height and length. Okay. For I is equal to 0, I less than length, I plus plus, do, done. Char is the line at that location. We can't use this notation. We have to substring it. We have to substring it at I for 1. Substring at the ith location and get 1 element from it. That will be the char that we are looking for. Now that we have the char, we need to store it in the puzzle array, and we need to come up with a key for it. So the key will look like number, comma, number. And the number will be the height that we are on, comma, the I location that we were on. That's the key. And the value will be the char. I think this is how we do it. That means printing the puzzle won't be any useful at all. Ah, man. I appreciate that you have your font turned up so we can actually see it. Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys can actually see this. It's a little bit bigger than I'm used to. It's a little bit weird, but I'd rather it look good for the content. Yeah, because I've had to like stretch things out afterwards for like making videos and stuff, and it's super annoying. So we are good. So now we just need to reconstruct the key using this. So I think it's I, comma, J. I think that's right. And then the char would be the puzzle at key. And then, all right, let's throw this out real quick because this isn't useful. Let's see if we can recreate the puzzle using this. None of that worked. Okay. I'm gonna check chat real quick. Let's see. Wait, you were starting at index 1, u plus plus height at the beginning. Oh yeah, look at that. So yeah, that's definitely a bug. I don't think that would throw this whole thing off, but you know, let's test it. Yeah, so I'm doing something funky here. Let me echo setting key equal char. Okay. I mean, that looks right? That looks great. That actually looks really good to me. So it seems like this puzzle variable is working here. Now my pulling the data back out of it is, well, of course it's not going to work because I'm echoing C here when I call it char. If I was consistent, this wouldn't be a problem. Cool. Does that match the example input? MMS. Yeah, it looks good to me. Cool. So we were able to reconstruct the puzzle from our input. Look at that. This is taking way longer than day 3, but learning a lot of good stuff here. And when we have to do 2D or 3D stuff in the future, we will have this beautiful associative array syntax. Thank you, Eric, because now this will work for arbitrarily large dimensional arrays. So if you want to give me a 4-dimensional problem, God, please don't. But or do. Maybe it'd be a ton of fun. I don't know. Don't listen to me. You come up with your own puzzles. Don't even take, I saw your video too. Don't even take influence from other people. It's all your IP. I think that's great. I think that's awesome. Makes perfect sense to me. So yeah, let's see. Easy, the entire algorithm. Hard, naming one variable. It's literally is true. It's literally true. Oh my God. Foo1, foo2, foo2.2, foo.real, foo.finished, foo.finished.2, foo.finished.divx.torrent. Like, I mean, yeah, I can come up with a whole bunch of different names. Oh my God. He's totally never given a 4D puzzle before. Nope. I realized something when I stream, my throat gets really dry, and it's not just the talking. I have a whole house humidifier, and I turn it off. Whole house humidifier. I have a humidifier that I drilled through and installed a toilet valve in so it fills itself. And I run it all winter, and I have to turn it off for the stream or else it'd be so loud. And I'm realizing now it's just getting super dry up here. That's what's going on. Okay, so if I did this right, then we should print the same puzzle, but we should just have the X's of the puzzle. Hey, this is really cool. So now we'll go through the puzzle and we can extract the x's. Does this match the example? It does match the example, doesn't it? It does. Hold on. I'm comparing what I have to the example on the website. And okay, yes, this lines up. This lines up. I'm being a little crazy here. Okay. So now we have what the puzzle looks like if we only consider the x's, and that's what we're going to do. We're only going to consider our x's. We're only going to talk to our x's. No, I'm kidding. So what we're going to do is when we have an x, we need to check every possible direction to see if the word is there. And the way we do that is... Let's do this. If it's an x, then we will say check for match, and we will give it the coordinates, which are I and j. So this function doesn't exist yet, but we're going to make a function that will take a coordinate, an I and a j, and we will check the puzzle in every possible direction. So let's do this. Let's just put the function here. Check for match. Local I equals $I, local j equals $j. Close that. Cool. So now we have the functions that we, or the arguments that we care about. Echo. Why is that syntax? Ah, that's wrong. Checking for match at I, comma, j. So if we print this, cool. So those are the only places we have to look for possible matches. Neato. Local key equals I, j. I'm realizing I should have put this echo below where I define these local variables because scope's a little bit. I'm scope creeping into the global here. All right. So now we have the key. So we know the char at that key will be x. So we need to check every possible direction. So we have to check up, left, down, right, diagonal, diagonal. We have 8 directions to check. Oh man, this sucks. Let me think about how we're going to do this. I could just write it 8 times. I'm thinking. We'll have to do 8 different directions, and for each direction, they all have different rules on which number gets incremented. Like if we go up, we're going to increment I. If we go to the right, we're going to increment j. If we go down right, we're going to decrement j and increment I. So we have to write these rules out somehow. Nested for loop, that was going to be for loops, all right. Trying to think of a way to define this rule to check all 8 directions. There's probably an easier way than what I'm thinking of. I mean, Eric, you put me into these positions where brute forcing it is that you're a master at this. Where brute forcing it is right there taunting me. With the, I'm like, if I figure out the algorithm, I can save some time. But if I brute force it, I can do it. And brute forcing it is within reach. it's just there's normally brute forcing is so far out of reach. I have to think of the algorithm, or brute forcing is such the obvious solution. I don't have to worry about the algorithm. This is like, they're in that gray zone, man. You've nailed it. This is impressive. Make a matrix of indices and only pull those out. Yeah. Eventually it won't be. Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I know Bash is limited. I have some ideas. Let's just start coding and let's see what happens. Let's check right. In order to check right, we know that the here's what we can do. I'm just gonna write this out. X equals puzzle at I comma j. Okay. Local m equals puzzle at I is the one that has to be incremented. So at I plus 1 comma j. I hate this. Oh, do you guys see where I'm going with this? And if x equal x, looks good to me. Ship it. And m equals m. Oh, this sucks. Then, hooray, we did it. And if we did it, let's do num found. Let's just make a global variable. And if we did it here, then num found plus plus. Okay. And then at the bottom of this, we could just say echo found num found matches. So we found one match, so only one match goes from left to right. God, I hope that's correct. Let's look at the I'm looking at the example one in my browser. So from left to right, I see Xmas here. And I see Xmas up here. So we're already wrong. And I see it down here. We'll figure it out. Oh, I think I incremented I. I think I'm actually, technically, I'm not checking. If I incremented I, which was the first one, I'm actually checking down. I'm checking down. So if I'm checking down, XMAS is here. Oh yeah, that might be valid. There might only be one Xmas that is written from top to bottom. Okay, that actually might be working. All right, let me look at chat. Looks good. Thank you. I think this is pretty much exactly how I solved it. Yeah, I'm worried about this because this sucks. I've seen worse code in prod. I push worse code. Yeah, I understand it. This is not how I solved it. Isn't that fun though? I mean, did you expect anyone to solve this puzzle this poorly? This can't be right. It can be right. I think the for loop method is the way to do it. Where I would have I would make a for loop and then I would know which direction which one needs to be modified and then which letters to check. But I kind of just want to do this. You know what I mean? I kind of just want to just do this. Because this sucks. All right, let's see. Carrie says, die equals, oh, what did you do? Oh, okay. Yeah, you've created. Okay. Wait, you're onto something. I like this. Yeah, because if I just let me think about this. Because when it comes to checking it, I'm checking XMAS. What I should be doing, hear me out. Let's do this. Let's condense this code. Because now we can just make our own string. I can literally just put these all on the same line. This is going to be horrendous to look at. But I hope you guys can see the vision. If we put these all in the same line, now we can just check that Xmas equals Xmas then. And this should print 1 matches. 1 matches. Cool. Yeah, I love how it's plural when it's not. Okay, now we're on to something here because we just need to construct a string of 4 different things. I'm still showing the browser. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, my bad. I thought I was showing. Here's what I've created. My bad. I've made one string where I've just put all of them together and then checked to see if the string was equal to Xmas. Because the nice thing about Bash is if I reference a part of the associative array that's not there, I just get back an empty string. So it just won't be Xmas. So, guys, this sucks. Oh man. Let me think about this. Can I do this? Let me try something. For x equals I, j equals, oh no, x and y. We're going to use x and y. This isn't even correct. They're backwards, but I don't care. We need placeholder variables. We're going to use a and b. A equals I, b equals j. That way we're not overwriting them. A plus plus. And then we need a counter here. This is so scuffed. N equals 0. And less than 4. Because Xmas has 4 characters in it. We could do something like this. And then we can just key out A, comma, B. That's our key. I'm just mixing all sorts of syntaxes here. We can key that out. Get the char at that location, which is puzzle key. And then we can append that to some string that we've made. We'll call it s plus equal char. And we'll set s equal to an empty string here. And then we will check if s equals Xmas, then phi. I think we can do this. Okay, we're getting there. Or we go into an infinite loop. I like that. I am kind of just making up syntax here. So, oh yeah, we didn't do n++, so that'll just run forever. Found 0 matches. Cool, not what I wanted. Cool, so none of them returned anything. That's awesome. So what am I doing wrong here? S plus equal char, puzzle key. Key is that echo key. We're not getting a key. That's because I didn't define it yet. What am I doing wrong here? For n equals 0, a equals I, b equals j. A++ and n++, n is less than 4. Oh! You would think I've never programmed before. I just had that ordering wrong. Okay, found 1 matches. Hey. We're getting there. So that is a match in one direction. So this will check down, and that's how we do it. Okay, we're getting there. This is it's absolutely scuffed, and I think this is the only code that we need to quote copy and paste. But I there's got to be just a simpler way to abstract what I'm sending here. There's got to be a better way than copying and pasting this 8 times. But I'm getting tired. So let's try this. Check up would be A minus minus. Check right would be B plus plus. Check left would be B minus minus. Now when you check the diagonals, check up right would be a combination of up and right. So up and right is up is A minus minus B plus plus. This sucks. There's a so much better way of doing this, but I don't know what it is. Down right. What is down and what is right? A plus plus B plus plus. A plus plus B plus plus. Okay. Check up left. Up is A minus minus, and this is B minus minus. And then check up right. And this one is A plus plus B minus minus. Oh, this is so silly. Let's see. You could condense it a little bit by reversing the string and also matching against that. Probably, yeah. Could just do it twice, one for diags and one for up, down, left, right, in a function and pass the var names to the functions. Yeah, it is. I mean, this totally is. Yeah, this is something that could be rolled up into one for loop. But I'm telling you guys, my brain's a little bit fried after 2 hours of doing this. But let's see. Found 18 matches. In this word search, Xmas occurs a total of 18 times. So it works. Just had to manually unroll a for loop. I like what you got. Thank you. I appreciate that. You like how I commented? How very nice is that? God, this sucks. Oh, boy. After doing this batch, I probably couldn't walk for a week. You're a goddamn hero. Listen, I appreciate that, Carrie. Am I pronouncing that correctly, Carrie? I appreciate that. That is a very nice compliment. I've unfortunately made bash my thing, so now I have to commit to the bit. And this is just where that has led me. Until the brute force turns your laptop into a space heater. Don't worry about me. We are running on an M1 Ultra Max Studio, so I would hope that it can handle this. This is my computer where I do my video editing and my music. So what do we have? Real input. Cool. Found 2, 5, 6, 9 matches. Cool. So if we go over here, 2, 5, 6, 9, submit. That's the right answer. You're 1 gold star closer to finding the chief historian. Yes, we did it, guys. We did it. We did it. If it works, it ain't stupid. Well. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's okay. Series in space. Oh, beautiful. Look, I'm getting my gold star. How beautiful. How beautiful. Oh, man. You know what I appreciate, too? Eric said this isn't the way that he would have solved this problem, but he didn't tell me to solve it a different way. Like, he was just like, yeah, go solve it the way you're going to solve it. Like, that's the point of these puzzles. So I'll take it. I love it. And yeah, like, this is what I try to do with my content. I try to show people, like, it's okay if you don't really know what you're doing. And my brain's a little fried. I'm sure I could come up with a way of condensing this into a nicer for loop, but for now, I'm just going to copy it, deal with 8 cardinal directions, they're not cardinal. Deal with 8 directions, and that's fine. And the code's going to be a copy and pasted mess, and that's fine because the goal is to have fun, and that's what we are doing. Well, thank you, Benjamin. If you get the right answer, the puzzle was solved. Heck yeah. Yeah, I have a pretty good way of getting the right answer. For I in 0 to 5,000 or 50,000, do echo the answer is I. Done. So here's my algorithm for finding out if I have the right answer or not. One of those is going to be right. So, you know, it might not be the most accurate, but there we go. Okay, cool. Time for part 2, and then I'll probably call it a night because it is way later than I realized. Part 2. I'm so nervous about part 2 because of the way I solved part 1. Don't say that. The elf looks quizzically at you. Did you misunderstand the assignment? Yo, come on. Looking at the instructions, you flip over the word search to find that this isn't actually an Xmas puzzle. It's an X-mass puzzle in which you're supposed to find 2 mass in the shape of an X. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. One way to achieve that is like this. MAS, the A is shared. Irrelevant characters have been replaced with period in the above diagram. Within the X, each mas can be written forwards or backwards. Oh, okay. So if I'm reading this correctly, my assumption right now is that they must share an A because an A is the middle character. Dude, this sucks, bro. I love this. Here's the same example from before, but this time all of the Xmas's have been kept instead. The X dash misses. AOC is secretly just a way for me to inflict my sense of humor on others. Bro, I don't think it's a secret. Yeah. But no, yeah, this is top tier, dude. I respect this. Okay, so we have Mass and we have Mass. Awesome. We have Mass and we have Sam. Sam and Sam. Okay, I can see it. I can see it. Yep. You've got to be kidding me. Xmas appears 9 times. Okay, so if I'm correct, then the letter A should show up 9 times. Because the letter A, every Xmas only has one A in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. That's a cool little check I can do to verify my answers. That's kind of nice to know. In this example, Xmas appears 9 times. Flip the word search from the instructions back over to the word search side and try again. How many times Xmas appeared? Dude. Brutal. All right. When I first read the sentence, I thought it was so Jover, but it's actually easier to implement than anticipated. I think using A is a good strategy. Yeah. I need to think about what I've done. I need to think about where I am in life. Okay. Oh, I totally just said you can count the number of A's in the puzzle. That doesn't work. This puzzle had the ones filtered that didn't match, so that actually wouldn't work. It would be at least at least 9 A's. Yeah, so I was completely wrong when I said that. But pivoting off of A, I think, is the way to do it, just like I pivoted off of X before. CP word search solver to X-miss solver. Okay. We read the puzzle in. We look to see if it was car X. No, we are going to look for A this time because that is all we care about. And then we're going to check to see if it's a match. And we're going to come up with the algorithm to check to see if it's a match. And it is not this. This is not what we're going to do. How are we going to check for it to be a match? Okay, now I'm thinking about it. It won't be too bad. It won't be too bad. Famous last words. It won't be too bad. Eric, what have you done? All right. I don't know how many other content creators do Advent of Code. I'm sure there's a lot. I mean, legitimately, I don't know how many do. But man, imagine going through and just getting oh man, Eric, go through or get someone to do this for you. Get the best reactions to the puzzles. Like, I would love to just see like a compilation of like people solving the puzzles. Okay, let's look at part 2. You gotta be kidding me. Like, watching that would be hilarious because, like, oh my god, this is brutal. Okay. We're going to pivot off of A here. Checking for match at IJ. Cool, cool, cool. We know it's an A here. So now we have to look. If we have an A, we need to check that these two characters are either X or S, and they are the same. And these two characters are either X and S or the same. Okay. Check direction. So top left to bottom right direction. And then let me organize what I'm doing. Put that way down there. We're going to check that direction, and then we're going to check this direction. So that's a visual representation of the direction that we are going to be checking. Oh man, MRS. Yeah, I think I said that. If I said it wrong, I made a mistake. Part 2 always feels like real life business requirements changing and crazy. Yes, it really does. Actually, it's like minorly triggering because it's like, oh god, I feel like a client request has made it through the barrier and into my ears as an engineer, and I'm like, I can't do this. Dave, you can get this done, right? It would take like what, a couple hours. It's like, I quit. So if we're gonna check this direction, we need to grab the two characters. So C1 will be the puzzle at the key. Let's make a new key. And the key's already declared as local, so we can do key equals, we want at the top left. So in order to do that, the I has to go up and the J has to go down. So the I has to go up and the J has to go down. I probably got this wrong, but whatever. We're gonna test it out. And then in order to get character 2, it should just be the negation of this, because the I think I'm wrong here. Let me think about this. What does the I represent? I think I'm right. Okay. If C1 equals X or C1 equals, oh no, S and, yeah, M and S. If it equals M or it equals S and C1 equals C2, then we've got a match. And if we have a match, then we increment the number found. No, well, that's only half of the match. We've only determined that there's half of a match here. Nope, I gotta think about this more. What am I missing here? Yeah, no, if I did it in the right direction, then one has to be M and one has to be S. Yeah, I think I got this logic backwards. If C1 equals M and C2 equals S, or C1 equals S and C2 equals M, then that's half of it. That's only half of it. Then halfway there. Else return because we didn't match it. Now we're going to check the opposite direction. In order to check from the top right to the left. I got this wrong. I'm super wrong. I'm confusing myself with the I and the J's. Yeah, so the first number is the height. The next one is the width. Okay, so with that in mind, in order to get the height that's one above you, you don't plus one, you minus one. And in order to get the direction that's to the left of you, you subtract one. Okay, now I want the direction that's to the right and down. Plus is down. Okay, now I want the one that's above me, but is to my right. So it's this way. And now I want the one that's below me and to my left, which is this way. Cool. And then we do the exact same check. And if we landed here, then we increment num found. I think that's the algorithm, which sounds crazy. Let me test this. Cool. Let me do, what did I call it? Xmas solver, read in from the example input. In this example, an Xmas appears 9 times. Okay, well, we have a syntax error. So, I mean, that's basically 9, right? Like, all set, guys. Nothing to report on my end. Syntax error. By the way, how come you can just index an array with a string in bash? Because I declared the array up here. This was Eric's suggestion. It's a really good suggestion. This makes an associative array. So think of it like a hash map, or Python has a dictionary, or other languages might have an object. It allows me to use an arbitrary string as the key. So even though we're indexing it like number comma number, those are just strings to bash. We're just constructing a string that it knows how to look up. 24. Oh, right. This is the thing about bash. You have to put something here. You can't have an empty block in an if statement. You have to put something here. So I'm just putting true here, which is basically in Python, it's the same as pass. This is just like a no op. I'm just saying, hey, I'm not doing anything because I just want to capture the else here. I could wrap the whole thing and put an exclamation mark here, but it might be harder to read. So I'm just going to leave it like this. Found 9 matches. In this example, an Xmas appears 9 times. Okay, I think this works. God, this logic, it just looks so ugly to me. There's ways to clean this up, but let's do the real input. 1998. It's a DDR song named 1998. 1998. That's all I ever think of when I think of that date. Wow, crazy that Bash has a hash map like data structures. Yes, think Bash 4.0. Very new version of Bash. When I say new, I think it's like 15 years old. But yeah, that's as of Bash version 4. If I were running the built-in version of Bash on my Mac, which is bin bash, what am I on? It's so old I don't even have bash version in this. But if I were to do declare -a foo, it gives me an argument saying it's not a valid option. So you have to be in a newer version of bash for it to work. Where am I? I don't even know what I'm in. How many layers of bash am I in? I have no idea, but let's just set that and call it a day. How do I not have a directory? Where am I? What version of bash am I in? I'm afraid to close this terminal because it might just break. No, that worked. There we go. Okay, I don't know how that. I don't know what happened there, but we're back in. Okay, we're back in a terminal. That makes sense. Okay, so what did I get? I think I said it was 1998. Xmas solver, real input. Let's pop open the browser and let's say 1998. Submit. That's right. That's the right answer. You are 1 gold star closer to finding the chief historian. We did it. We did it. Day 4, part 2 down. Part 1 was a doozy. I was racking my brain against that kind of algorithm, which is really embarrassing. Not embarrassing, but I've done a lot of 2D game programming stuff and collision detection, and a lot of in like tiles is kind of figuring out the next tile close to you and having to iterate through it. So I've written that logic like multiple times. It was not clicking in my brain in bash. So like I just had to unroll that for loop. Ah, man. A terminal that makes sense is my YSAP cover band. Liz, I love everything. I love every word that you just said there. That's amazing. Still no wrong inputs. Yes, exactly. And honestly, I think that's a testament to how good the examples are and how like, oh, it's so great to be able to test against the example. Like I would never submit an answer until I am certain of it. And the way I'm certain is by just testing against the example and making sure it works. That's how I make sure my algorithm's sane. So like if this continues, I won't have any wrong answers to submit, which is kind of neat. Pretty cool. So yeah, found 1998 matches, one more gold star. That's amazing. Let me take a look. And this website's so cute. I love the little year tag here, the little thing that shows up every so often, like little, yeah, different things show up, little regex right there. Ooh, we got a new picture. Look at this. Or sorry, a picture forming. Oh my God. This is so cute. This is awesome. Look, we got a little tree here. Is that a little nose? Oh, I'm excited for the whole picture to reveal itself to me. To be fair, the examples don't, parentheses, can't cover every edge case, but I try to make them cover the most likely ones. No, I think that's super useful. What I like, I've had teachers in the past that would, I don't even know how they would do this, but they would construct questions in such a way where if you were to get it wrong, but you were to get it wrong in the common way that people get it wrong, they would get an answer that looks like close to like what an example would say. So you would think that you're going down the right track. And I hated that. I would prefer if I get it wrong, the answer should be so far off. I know you can't control that. You can't control for every edge case, but it seems like so far, at least what I've been bumped up against makes perfect sense. Like if I get it wrong, I'm way out there, which is nice. It's really good because then I'm like, okay, I'm way off course here. I don't feel like, hey, I'm close to the answer. Like, but yeah, how do you control for that? And everyone's going to approach the problem differently. So they're going to have weird examples. Luckily, my wrong answer was a syntax error. That was really easy to find. Oh boy. All right. Well, days 3 and 4 are done. It's getting late here. My brain's fried. I'm not going to do day 5. I may stream again tomorrow. We'll see. If not, it may be in a couple days. Who knows? But it will be around this time I usually stream. Because I definitely want to knock out some more problems. But yeah, this was super fun. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Let me catch up on chat. Let's see. One thing I do with some puzzles is I solve them in a bunch of wrong ways, and if any of those solutions happen to get the right answer, the input is just thrown out. Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I'm not like, I'm more programming than I am math. But what I appreciated is the way that I generate the answers for these puzzles. It's like, okay, do this calculation of multiplication and then add them up and then, do some more multiplication or whatever. So you end up with these kind of large numbers. And what I like about that is this is just to me, it seems like the chance of a collision is very low. So the chance that I could get the wrong, I could get the right answer with the wrong procedure. It seems like it's very low. And it's cool that you explicitly test for that. Because, yeah, that would be, oh, man, it would be disheartening to know that I got the right answer using the wrong program. Be kind of funny, though, like later to find out. But, yeah, oh, man, that's cool. Oh, man, well, yo, thank you, everyone, for stopping by and hanging out. Like I said, I'm going to cut these videos up and upload them individually when I find time. Hopefully I'll have some time tomorrow or over the weekend. That's kind of my goal. But yeah, like I said, if I do stream again, it might not be till Sunday, maybe Monday. During the week is easier. During the weekend, it's kind of busy. But yeah, thank you for everyone for stopping by. It's super cool to hang out with everyone and do these puzzles. And thank you, Eric. It's so cool that you just come here and chill here. I hope there are other creators out there like streaming this and showing their whole process and stuff. I mean, I know there's a ton on Reddit. Like, oh my God, I went to that subreddit and I saw how many people were part of it. I was like, whoa, this is like huge. And you talked about the numbers and you're behind the scenes and it's so cool. It's like, yeah, I'm running this off my server and like I had to shut down Minecraft. I'm like, oh, this is wild. Like I know this story very well. That's so cool. I don't know, man. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out and thanks for making these puzzles, man. They're super fun. Like this has been a highlight of December so far. So yeah, I'm going to call the stream here. Thank you everyone for stopping by. And like I said, I'll probably be back probably Sunday, maybe Monday. But yeah, I'll stream again around the same time and we'll knock out day 5, 6, maybe 7. This stream took a half hour longer than the last stream. So puzzles might be getting a little tougher. We'll see. But yeah, thank you for stopping by, everyone. Have a good night. See you, everyone. And if you do want to catch these VODs, if you didn't miss the, like I said, it's going to be unlisted when I'm done streaming, but there's a playlist of YouTube live stream archives. So feel free to go there and check them out. And yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. I'm trying to grow it. Check me out on Instagram. That's where my bigger following is. So yeah, all that stuff, plugs aside. Have a good night, everyone. See ya.